It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. You know, we spent the first hour of the show talking about culture versus race. Well, you want culture here.
Yeah.
I talked about this earlier this week. I said, you know, we talk about things that are cultural, and I meant, you know, Thanksgiving and football. And it really is. I mean, that hasn't changed. You think about that. That hasn't changed at all. In the media, you'll see we shouldn't be talking about Thanksgiving because we're celebrating Thanksgiving on stolen land. There was a great article last week. I forgot who wrote about it. He goes, "This is what we've always said. It's been stolen many times over."
Yeah.
Native Americans stole it from Native Americans. People have been stealing land. Nobody is the original owner of any land.
Well, and if you came to that conclusion anyway, how would you reverse it? What would be the remedy?
But that's a media thing. Regular people don't go around talking about that at all.
Right.
But just to prove my point that I stated this when you were out the other day on Monday, I said, wow, you know, we talk about culture. I go, but the culture, even the culture of Christmas, everything that we went through, you don't even hear it anymore. You don't even hear. I mean, there's no debate anymore on Christmas, really. There's not, well, it should be happy holidays and not Christmas. And
yeah.
I mean, I always say to everybody, happy holidays. Hey, have a great holiday, but it means Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year.
Holiday season.
Right, exactly. But you know, when I say Christmas, I have no problem saying.
Now, I'm more inclusive. I go back to Labor Day. I start September. So.
Now, I know in Portland, I heard Portland, they had, you know, the tree lighting.
Oh, yeah.
They never referred to it as a Christmas tree. It was the tree lighting, and nowhere, according to the reports I see, did they ever refer to it as a Christmas tree in Portland.
Yeah.
So
what kind of tree would it be then?
That, again, is the culture of delusion. Well, it's like I don't even know if they have it anymore because, sorry, folks in Chicago, I love your city, but if I don't have to travel through O'Hare during the holiday season,
man,
that is Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year.
I've only been through there in the summer. I can't imagine.
But I'll never forget, like, what is it? Is it H and I forgot now. I forgot the terminals. There's G is where American Eagle is. Then H, is it H and L? I can't think of. But whatever it is there, when you come out of, you know, right in that little atrium, and they always have, it's basically, they call it the holiday tree. It's like, well, what holiday?
Yeah. Which holiday would that be?
Yeah. Why are you taking it down?
Yeah.
So,
is it Arbor Day? Did you cut a tree down for Arbor Day? That would be wrong.
Exactly. But I guess also they had, you know, basically a cheer for Palestinians at the tree lighting. I'm like, oh, that's really good.
Wow.
Christmas tree and supporting genocide.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, genocide of the Jewish people.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is interesting because the tree is part of the celebration of countless people who worship a Jew, being Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So, but the game last week, Chiefs against the Cowboys, the most watched regular season game in NFL history.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't see it.
57 million viewers.
Wow. My son was watching it on his phone. He's got one of those that folds out. And so he was watching it. I walked by and said, what are you watching? He goes, the game. What game? The Cowboys. I was like, oh, okay. I was cooking, and then after cooking, I was cleaning, so I didn't see any of it. But that's wild.
Yeah.
The most watched regular season NFL game in history.
In history, 57.23 million viewers. The most watched regular season game in NFL history.
Wow.
I mean, it was on at my dad's house. I mean, everybody was, we were, again, it's sort of, football sort of become background.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's background on Thanksgiving.
Sure, yeah.
And even on Christmas. It's on, but it's in the background.
Right.
Well, if it's at my sister's house, though, if it's at my sister's house, when it's time to sit down, turn the football off and put on Christmas music.
Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't at her house.
Well, yeah.
And so, but she has a more open house plan where if she has it at her place, the living room sort of goes into the dining room, and so the TV's there.
Right.
Not at my dad's house where we eat is it's separate completely.
Right. Yeah.
So the game was on, and we were watching it because it's on.
Sure.
But when we talk about culture, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the culture of the United States, even it's. I remember this goes back the Boston journalist Jeff Jacoby. This goes back about 15, maybe 20 years ago when the left was just going crazy about everything about Christmas and how offended they are. And I think every couple of years he writes some kind of column on it. And he said, he goes, I've got no stake in Christmas. I'm a Jew. But I remember him writing the column saying, we love Christmas lights. We love that in this nation that Christianity super influence on it. That the Christian part of it was what? Everybody's religion should be able to be celebrated. And he said, massively, this is a Christian nation based on the number of people in here. He goes, I love it. I love it. It always reminds me that people can celebrate whatever, whatever they want.
Sure.
He goes, I'm not offended by people saying Merry Christmas.
Right.
Not offended at all. It's like offended if someone says Happy Hanukkah. Well, okay, fine.
Right.
Happy Hanukkah to you.
Yeah. No, I've looked at it as, and over the years, you and I covered it for the longest time every year, and it would inevitably be somebody like, in a few cases, there were atheists. Well, we don't want to see that. Well, first of all, there are lights everywhere all the time, and also trees, and also decorations. So what is it exactly you're offended by? If you don't believe, then what are you offended by? We don't want this at the City Hall. Like, how much time are you spending at City Hall? It was just they were going out of their way to try and be the hero or the spoiler, whichever one. I don't know. The motivations change. But it just seemed weird because, there are a lot of things I don't do, but people, celebrate or take part in. Okay, great. Good for them. Christmas. I have family members who, they all have their, take on Christmas. A few family members who really don't want to do the secular thing. Awesome. Great. Then a lot of us do the mixture of the, it's a mix of faith and the secular version of it. But really, it comes down to what? It comes down to faith, family, the foundation of families, the foundation of a culture. And that's what that is. You bring all that together, and as long as certain family members don't show up, it's going to be a nice, peaceful celebration. It's always, that's the whole idea. No one requires anyone to believe anything or even to take part in it.
And now that football is a lot less political, and as we have stated, at least the NFL has now recognizes, with their end racism, that they're finally going after the Democrats, and we're very happy at that. But again, as we have said, that isn't going to last forever because they're in a money-making business and the turnover is so great.
Yeah.
Think about, the culture. Has anybody paid attention to young athletes today? Have you heard how many talk about God.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm constantly shocked.
How many commented after the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
And talked about their faith at that time.
The NFL but I'm upset because you know why? Because I know some of those football players when they kneel at the end of the game, they're not Catholics, they're Protestant, and I'm offended by that. It's like, Did I convince anybody?
Right. Go out of your way to find something to be offended by.
Let me find something to be offended by.
But that's what the left does.
And so, and I look at it I love when the left goes crazy about the Star Spangled Banner being played, and then they let airplanes fly over the military-industrial complex that's not needed at a football game, and they're so incredibly angry about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that when I used to have, I used to go to a lot of, NFL games. I had season tickets to the Bills, and I worked for the radio station that carried the Bills. It was great.
Yeah,
because it's a great sense. And I was going to games. In fact, the Bills are going to be in a new stadium. Oh, by the way, let's talk about taxing the rich. Let's go, Bills! Tax the rich.
Exactly.
Let's go. The new stadium. I was at the last game at War Memorial Stadium, which, if people don't know War Memorial Stadium, if you've watched the movie The Natural with Robert Redford, when he hits that home run and it busts those lights, but that stadium, all the inside stadium scenes, at home is the old War Memorial Stadium, and I know what you're saying. Right. Well, that was a dump. It was. I was at the last game there, and I was at the first game at when it's Highmark now, but it was Rich Stadium back then. So I won't be at the last game at the stadium and the first game of the new one though.
Yeah.
But I understood at a very young age that it's not just about football. It's a great way it's a great way that unity is built in a community.
Yeah.
Sports is able to do
cheering
that.
on the same thing.
Cheering on the same thing, no matter what your differences are. It didn't matter.
Or screaming expletives at the same team.
Exactly. Right.
However it's going to go.
The opposing player, everybody cursing and using the F word at that player builds that type of community.
Yeah. Jerry Jones giving the middle finger to all the fans.
No, but it's wonderful. It really, really is. And so when 2020 came along and the lie that police are systemically racist and all that, and the Colin Kaepernick crap, and the Marxist crap that he was attempting to push. And man, I was just so remember when that writer for, was it Miami? Yeah, I think Miami Herald, the Cuban writer, just laid into Kaepernick. Right. That was just so wonderful. And now is Kaepernick getting ready for the season next year? Is he still working out? That's still happening. But it's so wonderful, and it's a part of our culture. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, and the celebration. Yeah. It's still ingrained into there are just some things in a culture that you can't take away. But even the Star Spangled Banner, I mean, it's all about unity. Right. When you're all in that stadium, it's all Americans celebrating. Celebrating, what's going on. Look, in Canada, I don't know if you with the CFL, they're changing some of the rules, and some of the Canadian football fans are, ticked off, going, but this was uniquely Canadian. These were Canadian rules and Canadian rules. I understand that. I understand where it comes from. Yeah, sure. You have something that's completely separate. There are a lot of Canadians that weren't happy when they tried to, put the CFL. It didn't succeed into the United States. The Canadian Football League had some American teams.
Well, it's like when the Cowboys put out pink jerseys, and I was kind of furious, and then my wife said to me, no, those are for girls, and you should take it off. Oh, that's your daughters. They had pink Cowboys jerseys for women.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Did you have one?
I bought one for my daughter. I didn't wear it.
Okay.
It was just part of the joke, but yeah.
Okay. Just never know.
It's a throwback. When was that? Throwback uniform. When did they wear pink jerseys? Oh.
But I mean, there are still things that are really strong in the culture, and one of the things that are still strong in the culture, as we all know our rights, don't we?
Yeah,
that's part of the culture. We all know what our rights are. Now, there's also responsibility that comes along with those rights,
right.
And we have expanded those rights, saying my right is free stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Right.
And by the way, I started this the other day when you were gone. I said we got to start saying things like, me protecting myself in the Second Amendment. It's a human right. Me being able to speak whatever I want to say is a human right. Me being able to keep more of my money from the government is a human right. You know how they always use it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, let's just take it back from them, say the same thing over and over and over and over again about, what actually are rights.
Yes. Yep. And they're not assigned to you by man.
Yes, they are. What was that? Didn't we have that debate again a couple months ago?
Oh, yeah. Comes up every once in a while. It's like the living, breathing document crap. Yeah. But that's it. There are fundamentals that, as a society, we do understand, appreciate, and enjoy. We take full advantage of them. And that's why when we talk about it, when the left wants to just, have chaos in all these blue cities, what's going on right now in Minnesota with the Somalis is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with saying you should assimilate to our culture and certainly remain lawful throughout the process.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by FPPF, Fuel Power Max.
Owner-operator Mike Nichols is leased to Wayne Transports, pulling in their dry bulk division today after decades in business for himself. Speaking to Overdrive's Todd Dills recently, Nichols offered a word of advice to any company driver planning to make the switch to running as an owner-operator, unless you've got access to family money or otherwise independently wealthy, he noted.
As a company driver, you need to be thinking about startup capital and down payment, and I would just say that you need to treat that like you would firewood. Save what you think you might need and then triple it, if not quadruple it. And you'll be thankful that you did.
You'll be glad you did. That is, not just given favorable loan terms with a good down payment. Inevitably with trucking, you'll get hit with a breakdown and huge repair bill, or another of those unforeseen events. You'll need that reserve cash to cover it and avoid taking on debt or going out of business. Hear more from Overdrive's 2024 Trucker of the Year contenders at overdriveonline.com/PIB.
Brought to you by Shell Rotella. With advanced synthetic technology is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90-RED-EYE on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Coming up on the bottom of the hour, the president gets rid of cafe standards in the automobile industry. That is absolutely great news. President also talking about the Democrats talking about affordability is a big lie because they never wanted affordability to begin with. He said that after the election in Tennessee, and they said it the day after the election in Tennessee, and I don't know if they wanted to get a heads up before Ramaswamy brought up affordability, but affordability is also something that Republicans are bringing up now on a consistent basis. And as I've said before, Republicans are worried about the midterms, and it all goes back to affordability. We'll talk more coming up.
On our website, RedEyeRadioshow.com. Show info with stations, podcasts, and more. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today. Listen when you choose. All right, so the president coming out and terminating the cafe standards, which has added over the years, probably you could make the case, tens of thousands of dollars to the average price of a car.
Yeah.
And
right, yeah.
and when you see right now, you and I were both talking about, we just mentioned it because we both read the article that Wall Street Journal had it this year, that the American public has just had it with where car prices are right now, which have now reached the average car price $50,000.
Yeah, that's the threshold where
That's the
people
threshold,
start
right.
changing their habits,
Right.
buying fewer new cars, buying more used cars.
And we've reached that threshold at this point. Now, the problem is this isn't probably going to bring down prices in any way drastically in the next, before November, before the midterms. Long term, yes. Whether a new president would come in and then the EPA would put in the CAFE standards again, or how Congress and Democrats in Congress will look at this, or the lawsuits that might come in, and there probably will be some lawsuits on it to stop the president from doing it, but it is the right thing to do.
Well, they're reverting back to the 2022 baseline, basically, and which is an increase of 0.5% annually. So they're rolling back Biden-era CAFE standards, and even I think the administration in their fact sheet put out that they're saving families money, but it could say, by pointing out that these standards would have raised the average cost of a new car by nearly $1,000. This is going to, of course, save people money. So, but the question would be then for the automakers. All right, what else, or what have you already invested in on the line? So when we talk about CAFE standards, we talk about the weight of the vehicle and everything else. You certainly want safety standards in place. But when it comes to fuel efficiency standards, well, then a lot of the weight goes away. So you start using different materials. And you're building out your production line based on that. So my question would be, all right, if you roll back the CAFE standards or the Biden-era CAFE standards back to the 2022 baseline, then what will those OEMs do on the line? Will they change the materials they're using, and how will that apply? So, again, what does it mean on the sticker price at the end of the day when all is said and done, and how long does that take for the average consumer to actually feel that? This has been building for a long, long time. CAFE standards, the cost of government has been adding to the cost of vehicles for the longest time. And so the question would be, is this big enough of a move for the OEMs to really make a move here and get competitive on pricing? They're going to have to do something based on what the Wall Street Journal pointed out, and that is that threshold. $50,000 is a lot of money for a car. We talked about recently that a few times that there is part of the new generation that is looking at car ownership going, I don't want the responsibility of the ownership. I don't want the payments. I don't want the insurance payments. I don't want the hassle. I don't want the maintenance. I don't want the gas. I'll Uber. I'll do whatever. And certainly that threshold for those who have to own a car, you go over to the used market, and then supply gets lower and lower and lower and lower. Mm-hmm. And so the OEMs are in that spot where they have to become as competitive as they can be. And the question is, how competitive can they be based on this one move?
Here's a question. What is the size of a vehicle that would convince more young people to buy a car? Do people really want a compact? Do they want a subcompact? I remember in the 70s, I remember my my best friend Jeff got a Toyota Tercel.
Yeah.
That was a small vehicle.
A buddy of mine had a Honda Civic hatchback. I think it was a 79.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing was smaller than a Mini Cooper, man. I mean, it was small.
Now, I talk about his Toyota Tercel. I believe that my 75 orange Pinto.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, think about this.
Mm-hmm.
I started out with a 1967 Ford Fairlane GTA 390 cubic inch.
Yeah.
Got, I always say, 6 gallons to the mile.
Yeah, right.
I think it was 6 miles
Fill
to
up
the
the oil and check the gas.
Yes,
yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think it got 6 miles to the gallon, but I always like saying 6 gallons to the mile,
right?
Because that's what it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
But my father actually did the searching for it and found this old lady that her husband died, and she just drove it to church on Sundays. It had no miles, and this was like, let's put it this way: my brother and I, because we shared the vehicle, are happy that we're alive today.
Yeah.
My second vehicle was, I seemed to go in the opposite direction as I grew older.
Yeah.
My second vehicle was the 1975 orange Pinto.
Mm-hmm.
We loved that car.
Yeah.
And I say we because me and my buddies, they loved it because you took the 2 Jensen coaxial speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the trunk of it,
Mm-hmm.
the trunk of it, not the hatchback, but the one with the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like a speaker cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
And you put those things in there, it was great. Well, I'm amazed I'm not dead and that I still have my hearing.
Yeah.
Those are 2 things that I got out of somehow, escape with it.
Right.
And every doctor visit when he says, your liver is fine, I went, oh, skated
sure
there
that's
too.
my test, doc? Are we talking about me?
Your liver's in excellent condition. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, of course it is.
He looks at me, he smiles, he goes, yeah, mine's in good shape too.
Mm-hmm.
We skated on this one, didn't we? It's
Right.
like, yeah. And so I had a smaller vehicle that I remember I wanted something that I didn't have to spend so much money on gas on.
Yeah.
And so, I had a Pinto and had that for, I think about 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wondered with young people today, what would get them in, into a vehicle? Because they don't want it. What would you have to do to create a vehicle that young people would say, okay. Now for us, we spend a lot of time talking about culture.
Mm-hmm.
The culture of freedom
Mm-hmm.
was a vehicle without question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it still exists today.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way, as long as the DMV allows me to drive, that I will not have a vehicle, and it will not be electric.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying that if I didn't live in a different area where I didn't drive at all,
Mm-hmm.
because I've got lithium-ion battery everything, in my house. I actually have lithium-ion batteries too, because I can't have a
For your mower.
For my mower,
Mm-hmm.
and I have lithium-ion batteries for my TV, for my internet, because having a natural gas isn't a thing I can do. On my property.
Right,
so
yeah.
I've got I have like four backup batteries that run different things. Won't run the air conditioning and whatever, but everything else it will it will run, refrigerator, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not against, and we used to get that. You guys are against the new technology. No, we're not.
Actually, I think the technology is pretty cool.
Oh, the technology, the new
The
batteries.
practicality of it and the application in my life is what changes, because
Right.
I drive a lot, and
Same with me.
it wouldn't fit into my time schedule. I'd be limited on what I could do.
Yeah. And I do have because I have a very, very small front and back lawn.
Yeah.
And so I have a lithium-ion battery lawnmower and equipment because I didn't want to keep – my garage is attached to my house, and it gets so dang hot in there during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want it attached to I just don't want that in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
And so But they're very practical for me. You charge the battery, it does the entire lawn, no problem at all. And I cut twice. I cut the opposite way too. Well, when it gets real deep and thick in July, August.
Right.
So we used to get that. You guys are against. No, we're not. It's all about practicality and affordability. That's it. And that's how everybody is affected by anything that they buy. And an electric vehicle is not practical for me. I cannot wait. I can't wait 10 minutes to fill up my car. I certainly can't wait 45 or 50 or an hour.
Right.
And with the lines and everything else, can't do it.
Right.
Not practical for me.
Right.
I'm amazed at the people that drive Uber. If you ever can only get an Uber Comfort, the few times I've done that, because the other one isn't available or it's like way long, it's a couple of dollars more, not much more. Tesla's picked me up. Great vehicles. Great vehicles.
Sure.
Modern, look like little spaceships.
I love the technology.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you got to keep going to the charge station. You know what that's like for me? That's like, I told this over the weekend, a few people. Best thing about my job? No lunch. I hated when I used to work at the bank.
Oh, I hated going to lunch.
Oh, we used to have an hour unpaid lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. Well, you need the rest in human resources, or the union dictates. What I did love was when I worked in I forgot which union it was, and we got a half-hour lunch and it was paid. Well, that's fine. But I hated the unpaid hour lunch. It's like, let me work through the whole day.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you need a lunch. I can eat when I'm working.
Yeah.
I
can go without eating.
Yes, I go without eating.
What
right.
I would do
I
is,
want that hour.
inevitably, if we hit like a restaurant, back in the day when I was working during the day, if we went to a restaurant and I ate a meal, oh my gosh, at 1:30, I want to come home. I want to go back to work and go to sleep. My buddy would always make coffee after lunch. He'd have coffee in the morning and then coffee after lunch. I'm like, no, man, that's just my metabolism. I just need to keep working and not eat a huge meal. Once I eat, I'm done. My brain is just, fog. But that's, if you look at the overall efficiency in life, that's what people are looking for. And I think that's what the new generation is looking at, because they look at it and go, well, I did move to a place where either I work from home or I commute, very short commute. And when I go out with my friends, we all, Uber to wherever we're going. And I don't have the payment, because you think about a payment on a $50,000 car.
Oh, I can't.
For the average person. Yeah. And then if they come in and they're underwater on that, and they have negative equity they're adding to that from their previous vehicle, now they owe $60,000, and the car's worth $50,000? No. I understand at that point why young people don't want a vehicle. Yep. Right.
We are Red Eye Radio.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. With all this car talk, and we were just talking about the CAFE standards and the president dropping it, I started thinking to myself, because I did drive it today. I did drive my 2003 vehicle in that now has 256,000 miles.
Wow.
On it. So it's my second vehicle. Yeah. And when I got my new vehicle, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, it's still still going to my vehicle. It's still... Well, let's put it this way. If I ever eat in a vehicle, it's the old one.
I eat my new truck, man, or otherwise I don't eat.
I still have, I can still swear I smell the new car smell in my, it's an 8-year-old vehicle now, but that's my new vehicle.
Well,
after
2 years, my truck still has that new Whataburger smell.
Oh, I hate that. Get those fries. Get those decaying fries out between the seat and the console.
Yeah, right.
I'm wondering, how much could I sell that for? What could I sell
Oh man, I saw
2003 vehicle.
I
with
saw
200.
I saw a 2003 Toyota Tacoma on an auction the other day. I forget what the bid was at. I think it was already over 16,000, 187,000 miles.
No way.
Oh yeah. Those older Tacomas, man, people eat them up. Yeah, love them. They do. Yeah, but
I'm sure the Blue Book doesn't say that, but that's what they sell it for.
No, I don't know what the Blue Book actually says. But pickup trucks, it depends on where you live. But
Yeah,
pickup
that's
trucks
true. Yeah.
and Toyota pickup trucks
You're right.
do pretty well up until lately.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.